Like I said, when I bought this farm, the pH was down, the P&K was down, and it was just, it didn't have anything on it. It was bare soil, and we just started sowing wheat for a cover crop. And I had wheat up this tall for a cover crop. It got late and wet on us. We couldn't kill it, and it was done in the seed stage. It hadn't, and Daddy said, "What are you gonna do about that?" And I said, "I'm gonna kill it, and I'm gonna plant beans there." And I did, and the bean crop turned out successful. And I had all that mulch on the ground too, and that was sort of started. That was in the early '80s on this farm, and we've been doing cover crops, every year that we could. Some years are wet, you can't get all you want to done, but we've been moving that direction the whole time, and we're using chicken litter, and that, earthworms seem like love that, and cover crops it puts more growth under cover crops. They got a little nitrogen out of that, and and the phosphorus and potash in it, it gives them a good boost. We're doing the 5-species cover crop, and we're putting in the cereal rye, Australian winter peas, crimson clover, and we're putting in some winter oats, putting in some radishes also. And you pull in here to plant, you got to treat this ground different than you would out there than bare ground. I mean, you got to slow down a little bit. You got to get your seed depth set right. You got to get your culture adjusted right, seed depth right. Actually, probably I'll up my population 2,000 or 3,000 plants per acre, because you may lose a few, because it might not get, the seed trench might not get closed up good, but we run cast iron closing wheels, which is a help. It helps close that back up. And of course, if you get a good rain, that changes lots of things. I mean, you can get by, but if it turns off dry, you got to have your seed proper depth and get the seed trench closed up. And like I said, you might want just a slightly higher population. Just maybe not 10%, but maybe 8% or so, 5 to 8% higher population, to make sure you get adequate stands. And then it works. But you got to spend a little extra time getting out of the cab and getting your planter set. And then after you get your planter set, you're usually pretty good shape. But the thing on cover crops, on my own land here, I'm planting an early variety of corn. Okay, it comes off quicker. That gives me a chance to get my cover crops in earlier and get more growth. That's where it really pays. And like I said, I'm raising 3.9 beans up here instead of 4/8, and that gives you 2 to 3 weeks on the benefits there too. It really helps. You just got to get them in early. That's key, especially if you're going to put radishes in the mix. You want to do it every year, because you see the benefits. When the rain falls, we see it soaking in the ground instead of going off down our drains. We've seen improvements in yield, oh definitely. I mean, this farm is doubled in yield. My granddaddy farmed, Daddy farmed, and my son's coming on with me Monday. He's in his early 30s, and he's interested in this. He loves to see this.